After a marathon meeting in Brussels, Eurozone leaders have finally agreed on a deal that's vital to resolving the region's financial crisis. The big banks will write off half their losses on Greece's debt, and the Eurozone's main bailout fund will be expanded to $1.4 trillion to help struggling countries in the future. Europe correspondent Philip Williams with the details.
After 14 previous meetings, this was billed as the summit to end all summits, where the tough decisions to stop the euro rot were finally made. There was consensus on what was needed, but it was long after midnight before the leaders could agree on the details.
I made it very clear that Europe needed to deliver a comprehensive response to the sovereign debt crisis. And I believe that now we have a very solid way forward.
We were able to live up to expectations. We did the right thing for the Eurozone, and this brings us one step towards a sensible solution.
The deal calls for action from corporations and governments. Private sector banks will write off 50% of Greek debts, up from the previously agreed 20%. The Euro bailout fund will be strengthened, making up to €1 trillion available, and banks will be required to have more security when making risky loans. So-called capital buffers will have to be 9%. Italy has also agreed to tough austerity measures. It'll make Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi unpopular, but he's agreed to take his medicine.
The guarantee is that if we don't respect our commitments, we won't be credible anymore.
The IMF chief hailed the outcome.
It's been a very laborious work, but it's been worth the effort, because what we have at the end of the day is a comprehensive plan which includes all the ingredients.
Now the markets will give their verdict, and in the weeks, months and years to come, they'll be watching closely to see if the measures have the desired effect. Philip Williams, ABC News, London.
Well, it's morning in Europe now, and the whole EU is really hoping it is a new dawn. Our correspondent Philip Williams joins us from London. Phil, what's the consensus now? Is this enough to stop the rot?
It appears to be, at least in the short term. It's at the lower end of hopes, but it's above the expectations of those who'd feared it would collapse in a big heap. So far, so good. It's the minimum, I think, that the markets had hoped for, and they appear to be responding well at this moment.
Phil, more particularly at the centre of this deal has been Greece and more broadly Italy. What does this mean for them?
Well, it's a brilliant deal for Greece. They write off half their debt. That means they can now look forward to the possibility of eventually paying off those loans. For the Italians, well, it's hoped that this will stave off contagion, the Greece effect shifting to their country, so it's a big moment for them too.
Now, Phil, the markets have been open for about an hour now. How are they looking?
They're looking very bright, actually. The London market's up 1.7%. The DAX, the Germans, 3.1%. The French market up 3%. So very optimistic start to the day's trading here.
Europe correspondent Philip Williams, thank you.